I see right away. So you expanded your energy sphere, and it's big. There's nobody there, but you created like a spaceship. It has 8 sides, but they're kind of they're smooth. Doesn't look like a disc. It looks like it gets a certain shape to it, octagon or something like this. And you just trying to show me inside the ship, like you're actually excited about. You're saying that in the near future, people will be able to fly, things like that. Different technologies coming, and this is from tool that you're saying that can change vibration and shape, and like you say, squeeze into any wormhole if it wants to. So no need to wear a special suit. Next to consciousness, you're excited about technology. It seems like what is coming. Yeah, I don't. There's nothing really. There's nothing at all inside. No attachments. I just that you're saying that you're traveling in space, and you think that it's time to try new ways of traveling. As for star travel, that you can use different technology with different creations that you have in your head. And you think that humans should explore space and to understand how energy works and how it's all like a big um, show me space is always like a cylindrical shape composed of different layers one upon the other. They almost look like rings on the sides, and these rings create the membrane of the universe as a bubble. That's what you've been focusing like at subconscious level. But yeah, everything's fine.
Okay. And when I'm in the physical body, am I still, we were dealing with the, the octopi and kind of dealing with things when I'm in the physical body, fighting off certain things. Am I still doing that?
No, you stopped doing that because you said that they retracted themselves into the big you say there is looks like a box, like a Pandora type box uh of you say they're soul keepers, and they keep souls in first artificial source that they created. They mimic the original source, like where we go to, just our place to be. They created like an artificial cloud. They also created some boxes all around the universe, and they call them soul safes. Like they save the souls in there, because there's also bubbles of reality they created, and they are ready to fill them up with souls and extract them from this universe, because this universe is expanding and pushing everything negative out. So they can no longer exist because we all came. Um, it's not like we all came, but we got divided. And by getting divided, I get a feeling it was needed, because it's white and black, negative, positive duality. We had to split duality and to separate and leave only the positive and push out the negative. And that's already happened. Um, there's just it's like, when you destroy the house to build a new one at the same surface and base, you have to clean up the mess after you destroy the old one. We're kind of cleaning the debris and the leftovers from the destruction, and redoing the facilities to be used for something positive, changing the energies inside, from the low vibration to high vibration, by bringing souls who work at this and energizing it was their own, by just doing work there, by redoing it, they light it up, basically, was their soul essences. That's how I feel like all the planets are being revived in a way, because the essences were kept, a lot of them were kept in stasis, much same like they would do to souls when they capture them. And now the whale, or the layers that kept them in that stasis, are coming off, because the real sun activity is getting stronger. It kind of goes like in a circular motion. It's almost like I see around the original sun, like Saturn rings would be. But there is like rings that it goes like, it contracts and expands, and when it expands, it shoots the new ring and new ring, and they're like boomeranging towards the Earth and towards other planet 360. So that's what's going on right now. It's just a process of regaining stability and freedom and all these things. And little by little, it's like the percentage goes. The more they pressure, the more that we want to be free. And that's why, in a way, it's a good thing that they do, because when you're pressured, you feel like you're nothing to lose, but stand up and say something, and be true to yourself finally, because you look around and a lot of people are in the same situation, so you don't feel alone anymore in this. So that's what.
Okay. And then I had two more questions in regards to the first session that we had. And so in the second life, we discussed having a friend that I helped to get back home to his family in Romania. Did we ever, in this life or any other life, did we ever um, come back together as I guess, as friends or family members?
He says he's a star traveler.
Mm.
He shows up in a suit, like black shiny suit with a cape on the back. But he says, I just like traveling all together, and I like visiting different universes. And I know every individual star traveler, like you are. And that's why we connected, because we have the spirit of wonder in us. So he said. In
And so that,
terms of,
go ahead.
you shared the information with him, there's something on his head. Almost looks like, you know, sometimes you see the pictures of the tropical plants, and they're kind of folded like, you have circle folded in half, like a circle folded, and then there's spikes, and those, um, just don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of like two sides put together on one side, and it got like teeth almost, and it's on the back of his neck and like beginning of his head, and it just held in there. He got it from space, from, he said, from some vicious flowers that are supposed to um, eat up the beautiful energy flowers that help cleansing the negative energies of space. And I see like he was trying to neutralize them, but instead they attacked him because there's like a big flower, looks like, the flower and cactuses type thing. It looks beautiful, but then you feel the negative metallic type cold vibration coming from it. And he says people don't realize there's lots of energy flowers in space. Flower is that gives life. Flower can take life, and those are the ones who can take life. And I wanted to neutralize them, and they start spitting was like those um, funky, it was like pieces of cactuses or the flat ones. It was the spikes that open up like a mouth and they get sucked into it and they start sucking energy. And with that energy, they self replicate. And then it goes like a conveyor belt of flowers. That's how I see it. So you told him, they give him the information. He knows that he's got it anyway. So he just went, he didn't know that he could go back to the moment when he decided to do what he tried to do and to redo it in a different way so he can change the timeline that way. And this thing, it just fell off of his head by on its own.
Mm, nice.
Yeah, he's also laughing about the cape. He says, I just like want to be like a superhero. I don't really need it. I just created it out of my own energy to look cool. Um, he's got this sense of humor. Yeah, he's zooming, flying by. He knows how to avoid the spacecrafts. Still, there is a lot of shuttle type spacecrafts. Looks like a rocket, and they're very long, cylindrical shape. And they're transporting some of the souls that actually not ready by according to their vibration to participate in the rebuilding of the earth. And he said that that's what happens a lot in different universes when we just have to let the force, the very force that are polluting, and we're pushing it out to take some souls because we give them the information, and but they refuse it. And there's nothing we can do because we all have to understand we cannot save them if they consciously are not accepting the help. And help would come in the form of information, but they refuse it. They deny it, much like people at a physical level would deny things because simply they don't resonate with it. They made a decision and they closed up their head as a box and their little decisions here and there and understandings, and they would not expand them. So yeah, I see them going like to the right, and it's like it's like a transparent tunnel, absolutely transparent goes to. It looks like a bubble of reality, but the planet-wise, it looks like Earth, but it's slightly different. It's all like high rises all over, very little nature, almost non-existent. Things like that. Like they just build a something close to that. But yeah, the vibration is pretty low. Anyway, but that's how you're connected. You know each other. There's hundreds of, they call themselves space travelers or star travelers, zooming by.
And so when we initially met in that life, that was for me the second out of 9 lives, which was that second life was in Berlin. And so the other lives after that, were they running at the same time? Were they parallel lives? So lives, say 3 through maybe 8, were those lives, they were physical, or were they running parallel? How did those lives work?
Those are parallel lives, basically when they capture, manage to capture your essence, they split it up. And it's like, imagine you got this one ball of energy, which is your soul, your essence. And then um, we say it's, they fragment them, but it's like little fragments basically of it. It's getting split up, usually use gas or some liquid substance, some chemical kind of substance, or they use like a beam of light, like laser, to split, depends on the structure of the DNA of a soul. And then they send those fragments at the same time in multiple timelines of 3D Earth, or sometimes 3D Earth and also, some other Earths in other densities. And you all start, it's like marathon, right? You all start from the same point. So you all start from the same point of the beginning, and that's why we say we run in parallel, because all the runners, all the fragments in different body containers run at the same time, but they're different scenarios, different lives. Sometimes it's the same scenario, but they just put different circumstances here and there to see, or the same circumstances, but you would make different decisions on each and
Mhm.
every timelines. That's how it goes. They want to, that's how AI learns. Like, what would happen if he makes this decision or that decision? It would change the outcome. So yeah, they're in parallel. But what I was talking about at a spiritual level, that's how you connect through space. Most of the time, that's what people do. We just don't even know why we're so, sometimes, as much as busy we are, but we want to stay in touch. Sometimes it's because we're closely working together in the astral. And there's a lot of times you kind of feel that with people. Like you don't want to lose that connection, because you feel connected through the something you do in this etheric. So you don't even need to meet up physically in this life in person, but you feel at the same time very connected with that person. And that's like a sign that you're doing something together in space. Or you met in parallel lives, but I feel like the most impulse, the most connection usually comes at a soul level.
Okay.
And yeah, you like to laugh and do things together and fly. Both like speed and
That's very interesting. I like that. Um, so we'll move into just family members, and the first family member, um, if you can, would be my first daughter, and just seeing if she has anything. I know that she's dealt with anxiety and things like that. Just want to see if there's anything that's holding her back from just living out her highest potential in this life, and if there's anything that the subconscious can do to help her.
yeah, when you saw, like you told me, there's So three daughters all came together.
Mhm.
One is behind, and then middle, and
Mhm.
the youngest. And so what I saw right away that there's like a big, mm, like a bird. I'm trying to detect what bird it is because it's got this big like eagle type being, and in front there's just like fish reptilian hybrid being just the almost looks like an amphibian being with scales, but the face when I touch it's like 13% fish right away. And so the bird is trying to push you back. The bird is more connected and influencing the subconscious. The fish hybrid is more pushing and analytical mind, like conscious mind, and influencing this because the fish one likes the energies of being scared and determined, having a hard time making decisions, or having a hard time keeping up with the speed of the world. That's just a sensation like you always have to run and you can never stop. If you stop, um, like life stops for you and you're left behind, things like that. He likes the vibration, like vibration and the energy of those feelings, and he stimulates those. He I see like there's orangey red type wire around the back, like spinal cord. That's from the blackbird eagle. So, and then the fish one, it's more like um like a fog, like created the fog, but it feels sticky, like it's stuck on the face and the rest of the body. And so it's basically it's like the body split, and they split 50-50 in between this being and that being. They just made an agreement. Okay, she's a very energy efficient soul, so let's split her up and share. So you show her everything. What you do, you tell her just separate yourself from that body as a consciousness and just come look at yourself from the side where I'm standing. And she says, well, but I'm pushed from both sides. That's why I'm like a lion in the cage pacing back and forth and don't know what to do. And you say, well, ask for the contracts, ask how it was done, take out, peel that sticky layer in front, throw out the fish humanoid, and undo that cord, the wire in the back, the spinal cord that influences you, and actually goes in the head too, so it can manipulate thought process. It's like you start up thinking positive, but it would change into negative. It would distract you from your own positivity and would refocus you. By giving you a negative thought, it would start spinning and amplifying it. That's what that thing was doing. So she just took it out. She like undid it, straightened it out, and the portal was that bird being. He gave her some rock. The rock has the layers. Each layer has, it's almost like Chinese letters. I cannot. When I touch it, it's like a contract thing for her lives. And she just takes a big hammer and says when I split this rock in multiple pieces, that's just gonna be the destruction of my contract. That's what she does. It goes into pieces and dust, and she just throws them out in the portal. But then I see, so she's peeling. She's kind of, it's like a yoga mat. She's folding it, rolling it down. It looks like a sticky white color, very dense fog in front. And in front of the face, it makes her foggy and undecisive. Like that's precisely done for that. Distorts reality in the dark colors. Like that's what that fish hybrid wanted her to see everything in negative. Kind
Mhm.
of and pacing back and forth, like one step further, two steps back, things like that. Like that's, but she couldn't walk really. I mean, they were constricting her all the time. So that's all gone. And I see you cogging her. And then she goes to the side and stands there
Mhm.
because it was a fish one. She didn't have a contract. He just came basically, did like made some sort of deal with that eagle one that was pushed in the portal. This one was pushed to after. But he let him be with him and share the energy. So the middle one is like I see her. She shape shifts. She's shape shifted into a leaf and then into some very short being, looks like a gnome type being. She says, "I'm not a gnome, I'm an elf." And she says, I came from a forest.
Mhm.
It's a magical planet with magical forest, and I really like it being there. I like talking to animals. I like communicating with squirrels, badgers, all this. She just names the animals. And I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm totally confused. I got here, what I'm supposed to do here. I um I don't even know if I want to do what others do according to the protocol of leading your life. Uh so there is some attachments. There's three reptilians showing up. I think they posed, so basically they went into this world as turned into, well, took on to the shape of those elves. They're very kind of like square type body, very muscular but very short. That's why, I thought it was a gnome. And they created holographic image of them like an imprint and started being friends with them because they wanted to go for some, there's some underground, so the trees, they have interesting roots, and the roots grow like like crystalline structures that contain information, and those trees, there's a main tree and there are other trees, and the other trees listen to the main tree. It's like a hive mind of a tree system there. And the main tree is a tree of life, which contains information, and its babies, like other smaller trees, contain it too. And it's in those little um, bubbles that look like crystalline structures that they basically reptilians want and need, because if if they can get to the creation of this planet, how it was done, they can use it for creating artificial worlds, for because they always have to mirror or mimic something. and they could not get it, and your daughter was fighting with them. She has a fight despite everything, like she has a fighter spirit inside. And when she was trying to push them and open the portal and push them out, they got a hook on the back of her. It's like where the waist, a little lower than the waist on the back. That's what the hook is. And I suspect it may cause like all kinds of like pains on the lower back and things like that. Probably radiating into lower front. Um, so she took the hook out. It looks like an energetic hook, and threw it out, threw three reptilians out. Actually, the two were just wearing belts, and the bigger one just a vest. So it was like a hunter's vest with some devices in it. And he was very big, like fat, short tail, military type reptilians. So she threw them out. The portal, hook out, different. So she just cleansing her body, initiated the regeneration process. After some of the things she said that have been done to my physical body and that imprinted into the energy body, and also all the damage I sustained from this reptilian experimentation on our race too, so that you cleanse yourself. There was a book, it looked like a dark green pages that she just burnt up. It had very few pages there, like three. She threw it out on the portal. Oh, the daughter on the back. It has a strange device on her head. Almost looks like ancient looking helmet. It's got it's like a bronze material. It's got different kind of twists around and forms into a helmet. And on top, there's like a ball of energy, just white energy. It's huge, a giant ball of energy. Need to touch it. What is it? Ah, it's like the side. It's like almost like a water snake inside, and it's all kind of curved off up in a circle. It's like a spiral motion. It's got eggs inside. There's like 4 eggs inside, and it attached itself to her head to drain her mental energy and also get access to the vital energy. But the mental energy is important for the snake because she programs your babies to with the knowledge that because physical brain connected to the mind's connected to soul's essence. Soul's essence has so much experience in different universes, planets, and so on, and that's what she wanted to program her little babies with to make them smarter, she says. Um, give her the information, and it just you just gave it to her head like telepathically. You didn't create any object. What I see is that she created some sort of looks like a gun with a stick on the back. On the end of the stick, there's like a rotating brush. It's round, and she goes over her mental, emotional body. She says that she cannot get rid of some thoughts that drive her crazy. And so she's cleansing all of this up with a brush and just blowing everything into the portal. Whatever comes off as gray dust that I see took off that helmet type thingy. Through the whole thing was the snake into the portal.
Does
That
this have to do
snake,
with her depression and her feeling of depression? All these things that are being removed, did this have to, well,
the
with these things being attached, did that have to do with her state of depression?
red, because through that helmet type thing, she was influencing her and keeping her in low vibration so she can give the low vibration to her babies to grow fast.
Hmm.
So, and she would like those mental, she was really cleaning the mental body because it all came from the thoughts. The thoughts stimulated the feelings, and it was just like a constant like swirl of energy in her head, like a tornado going. Yeah, she took it all off.
Good, 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 good.
And she's raising her. She's telling me she used to be a mermaid person, but people, I don't know why she's talking about it. She probably misses it or something, that life. She says the mermaid was legs, and then the legs would turn into tail if you wanted to, and back and forth. She said it's true what the story says. She says all the fairy tales are true. There's truth in them. They just camouflaged it into kids' books, so nobody would ever think. But she said, I used to be a mermaid, and this snake got attached to me in this life. That she said, I'm happy to get rid of it now. She likes the fluidity of energy of water. Like she likes waterfalls and the sound of water.
Yeah,
And
she
she
has about
said,
two fish tanks in her room and with a bunch of fish, and so she loves fish.
mm, well, she said, those are my friends. Yeah. Oh, she's happy now. She turned into a mermaid actually to show how she looked. Yeah, I totally see her feet. They just got this in between the toes, what do you call them? Connection. Yeah, like like the duck feet type thing.
Hmm.
But it looks human though. Toes are longer. So bluish, greenish body of turquoise dark. Yeah, there's like a crown on her head almost. She says they're royal mermaids. They're bigger. They're different types, but it's not a hierarchical definition. It's just that they've been to the original Earth for longer than others. That's why they call us royal. We know much more of the history of the Earth, and that's why you and her connected through that, because you're like a historian. You want to know the history, and she can provide it at a soul level. So yeah, she's clean. She's got she's swimming. It's almost like I see a version of a mermaid movie, but looks very real right now.
Yeah, that's beautiful. She's very, very sweet, and but I just know that there was something holding her back, and I'm just glad that that now has been taken care of, so that she can, you know, live a lot more freely and be more happier in this life.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, well, all three of them kind of like they don't stand in that matter, like one after the other anymore in a row. They're just doing their own thing.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. And then for my spouse, do you see anything? I know that sometimes there's challenges there as well. Is there anything that could assist or aid her in her current state?
Yeah, there's right away I saw this like a typical gorilla face, like just typical. And then I see some forest, and she used to be so two main lives that she's showing to me are like explorer in a man's body with a small group of people searching for it's more like scientific exploration type thing. And another one, she lives in the forest like that, in a tropical forest. And I hear Mauritius. I have no idea what it is. Just she just said that. Gotta be some island or continent or something like this. Mauritius. I see her on the boat. She dives. That's a woman. She lives in this house made out of palm trees, like leaves. Kind of very simple life, but she misses it. She misses simple life. But the gorilla got attached to her there because the gorilla there actually took one of her babies from the hut when she was about like around it. She's raising some. I can. I mean, it looks kind of like a pineapple coming from the. It's not even the soil. I don't know. It's like a mixture of sand with something. Yeah, she's just digging out something from the ground that sticks up a little bit. And the gorilla goes, like, runs into your house, grabs the baby, and runs away. And she takes a spear, and I see how she just runs after and tries to hit the gorilla. But instead, I think she damages the child or something. I don't know. Just like the leg is hurt or the spear, because gorilla turns and the baby's in her left arm and just like left foot is touched by the spear. And so she got real scared that she actually killed her own baby. And then at that moment, gorilla attaches to her because at the etheric level, she does, because she lowered her, she dropped her vibration. She got scared, she lost a baby. So, and then also at that moment, at the energetic level and subconsciously, promises her she's not gonna shoot spears anymore if she gives her baby back. And unfortunately, she doesn't. She doesn't give the baby back. She brings the baby with her, jumps up the tall tree, and gone. And it's like a life of regret. That's what I hear. So, but it was done on purpose. It was all pre-set up. There's like literally like she's showing me. That book by Michael Crichton. I read it in Russian actually, but it's translated. A Planet of Apes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
translation would be kind of looks like it. They're totally like human, but they have this strong features of gorillas, and that gorilla comes from it. And your wife was a warrior. She's telling me she was a warrior, that she came to Earth to continue fighting, and then she forgot who she is and what she came for, and she was lost. 80 lives of being lost. That's what she said.
Said 80.
Yeah,
80 Earth lives.
yeah.
Wow.
And but she has a spirit of like protection, protecting the family, or warrior type personality, like deep inside her essence is like that. So she disconnects from that monkey thing, and as she goes back, she jumps in front of the gorilla, so she doesn't take the baby. So the energy of guilt is eliminated, it's gone. It never was formed, left the body, and she just said that they've been they're hybrids all over the place, in forest of those. And she said there's different variations of them, what you call call Bigfoot, right? She says there are different kinds of them. She says basically there are around 9 different kinds of those. There was different DNA, and they come from the labs. They hybridize them because of their power. They simply is that they very powerful in terms of energy and force and strength of their body. That's why a lot of alien races would take their DNA to create armies. She was going after them. She came here. So she got rid of all of this, disconnected, threw everything out in the portal. Some little wires connected inside the body, threw them all out. It almost looks like little pieces. Somebody cut up a huge wire, connected the pieces with little rings, created like a core body. That's what it was inside of her. She took out, threw it out. Yeah.
And then I have one more family member that I have a grandmother. She's 99, and I know that she's the physical aspects of her. She's going through a lot of pain, but also right now she's being impacted emotionally. Is there anything that you see that may help her on the emotional level, um, so that she can just kind of live the rest of her life in the best way she can? Um,
Yeah, but she looks like I see like a mountain, and I see on the side of the mountain there's like a flat spot. And she's, um, when you take, let's say, the mountain made out of clay, you take a body, an energetic body, and you push it in, and then it's like an asphalt, right? It would, if you step on it, it would just make an imprint in it. So basically, they pushed her in, and the mountain got solid, and it keeps her inside. The thing is hanging on her. It almost looks like a metallic skirt on her waist, but it sticks out like say you take a square, make like a hole, and actually it's in the shape of square in the middle, and you pull it on her, and it's hanging on her hips, like it's putting immense pressure on her hips, her everything down, legs and all this. um Cardiovascular system vessels, like the circulation of blood, it just everything is screwed up because of that implant, and also because of immobility. She's like immobile, she's stuck in the mountain. I see some hybrids. They're mostly like, imagine like a fox, but they would be standing on the feet, but from upper chest and down, he has like a human body. The arms are just weirdly long with claws. Doesn't have the fur though. Fur is just a little bit on the head, like a mohawk. Just the weirdest thing. And those are controlled by the Greys. Is the alliance of six that does experiments on human DNA mixed with animal animals, and that's one of those. Jacobs are interested in this because they also try to mutate their DNA with other animals to see if they can make perfect slaves for themselves. And because I do see like tall Dracos behind all this kind of watching. Yeah, fox or wolf in it also, just that kind of being. Um, this looks like Egyptian a bit, kind of the outfit. Big ears on top, yeah, on top. Can really hear well. So you just tell her you can explode the mountain, you can by wanting, by your desire, by your intention, you can pull all the energies that you have in your essence in one spot in your heart area, let's say, and you can detonate, explode the whole mountain around you if you wanted to liberate yourself. And she said, like, could you? So you came up to her, you gave her a little bit of energy through your hands. I mean, it's her. Check there, her DNA. And then I see the explosion. It's like the mountain cracks into pieces. It's like a strange thing. It's not a planet. It's just the astral platform. It's like totally metallic, powered by some cords going down, connected to the dome of the matrix, so siphoning energy from there. It's almost like plugged in, like we plug to the wall, plugged to the dome of the earth. And she just like fall apart, this thing. And she oh, there's a huge panel on her back that she just took it off. Oh, I imagine. I mean, her back was probably killing her or something.
Hmm.
I don't know, because it's like a huge metallic thing
Hmm.
from shoulders to down. Um, yeah, there's connectors, switches, all kinds of devices. It's like a Terminator type equipment on the back. So she took all of it, and they were taking up to 73% of your energy. It's a
Hmm.
lot of energy. She barely had any left for herself.
Yep.
For regenerative processes, all this. I mean, I imagine like her head was feeling kind of foggy and funny, and probably memory loss or something like this, because I mean, the way she was positioned, it was pressure, imagine, from all the sides of the body. No, no energetic movement, so like energies of stagnation all over.
Hmm.
But now I see them starting to circulate. Uh,
Yeah, she had been
freely.
sleeping a lot and very lethargic, and her mobility has just it's been very limited. So she's been in the bed most of the time. So that's right on. That's right on what you were saying.
Yeah. So yeah, she's gonna be fine. She took it all off. There's some under feet inserts. Like she came out of her body, like I told her, observed herself, created this powerful vacuum, looks like a metallic tube, and just sucking everything out that doesn't belong to her, that is artificially created and inserted into her energy bodies. And also just goes on the shower and programs the water to just cleanse everything, just push everything down. The dirty water, she says, she's just opening like a door at the floor and it's all pouring into that hole by her feet. So that's it. She
Okay.
did that. Yeah, she's clean. She changed her DNA also. There's got some crazy animal percentage, around 7.2% of something, some animal. All those fox or something mutation because they were trying to mold her into certain mutative state, to be able to walk into her control, take her body over, something like this. It didn't really work out. I feel like it's been stopped, the experimentation, because they just figure that they'll just be taking energy most of the time from her.
Hmm.
But yeah, she's done.
Okay. That's good. Well, that was my last question, and you can disconnect when you're ready.
Mm, yeah, they're all standing there, they're all looking at each other.